Broadcasting live from the campus of Santa Ana College, we have Don Softball this Tuesday afternoon here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. The Dons get set for their match with the Tigers of Riverside City College. Welcome to the broadcast, everyone. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Santa Ana started off last week strong when they upset Orange Coast College to begin the series. However, they dropped the last two games and are now 1-5 in conference play. The Dons are 3-15 overall and are led by sixth-year head coach Marissa Ross. She is joined by assistant coaches Alyssa Iglesias and Alexis Carmona. The visiting Tigers find themselves with an identical 1-5 record after taking Game 2 last week versus Santiago Canyon College. Pitching has been an issue for them as they've allowed double-digit runs in their last 5 ball games. Riverside City College is led by 26th-year head coach Michelle Dodona, who picked up her 600th career victory earlier this season. Dodona is joined by assistants Adriana Gutierrez and Clarence Carter. We are going to send it to a commercial break. When we return, starting lineups and first pitch here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Back from commercial break, my name is Noah Alvarez as we get set for an Orange Empire Conference softball match. Santa Ana College hosts Riverside City College for their first of 3 games this season. Both teams are 1-5 in conference, and while the teams play their first game today, the series doesn't resume until the week of April 2nd. Today's game was originally scheduled on March 31st, but moved to this afternoon so it doesn't interfere with the Cesar Chavez holiday. Let's go ahead and get you these starting lineups. Begin with the visiting Tigers of Riverside City College. In the leadoff spot is shortstop Carly Romero. Playing first base and batting second is Abby Baldwin. Maddie Aguilera bats third and plays second. Third baseman Alicia Kendrick bats in the cleanup spot. Giselle Morales gets the start in the circle and bats fifth. Riley Wilson plays catcher and bats sixth. In the seventh spot, it's left fielder Jasmine Lemus. Ruby McDonald bats 8th and plays center field. And rounding out the order is right fielder Brooke Bishop. That's the lineup for head coach Michelle Dodona in her 26th year. She picked up her 600th career victory on the career earlier this season. Congratulations to her. Of course, on the other side, in the other dugout, it's head coach Marissa Ross in her 6th year as the head of the program, currently riding a 3-year playoff drought, but the Dons look to rebuild. Relatively young squad here. Ihilani Berard gets the start in the circle. Talented freshman from Santiago High School. First pitch below the knees, ball 1. For Berard, it's her 14th start of the year. 16 appearances total. The 1-0, put on the ground for the shortstop Vadios. Plays it on 2 hops. Throw accurate to first base, and it's the first out of the inning. Carly Romero retired. In steps Abby Baldwin, the first baseman. Through 82 innings, Berard has a 4.01 ERA, a 3-9 overall win-loss record, 35 strikeouts to 18 walks. The batters are hitting .342 against her. The workhorse has pitched the most innings on the Santa Ana staff, and a first pitch to Abby Baldwin downstairs. The defense for Santa Ana College. Delaney Watkins in left, Valerie Villa in center, and Hen Urena in right. Another chance for Vadios, to her left, in the hole, makes the throw in time. Back-to-back nice plays by the shortstop Vadios. We'll get you the infield. Kalani Gonzalez at third base. We heard our name already. Gracie Vadios at short. Moon Higareda at second. And Eliza Mendiola at first base. Nayeli De Jesus is the one calling balls and strikes behind home plate. First pitch, foul down the third base line to Maddie Aguilera. Home plate umpire today is Gary Kraus. On the first base side, it's Scott Kahn. Those are the umpire crew today. Drilled up the middle, and it's a first base knock for Riverside City. Aguilera gets the hitting started. 2 outs, runner on first. That'll bring up Alicia Kendrick, one of the more dangerous hitters on the Riverside City squad. She's hitting .394 on the season, leads the team with 5 home runs, and her 25 RBIs is second most in the Orange Empire Conference. Berard's first pitch to her. Third baseman chops one over to shortstop. Vadios goes the short way. Higuereta records the out. So Berard only faces 4 batters. They work around the 2-out single. Nice job by the Dons defense. We'll turn it over to the bottom of the first inning. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Softball here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez. If you're supporting one of the members of the Dons softball team, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get a notification every time we go live for a home Dons volleyball game. Dons softball game, correction. Let's get you the starting lineup for the Santa Ana Dons. In the leadoff spot, it's the pitcher, Ihilani Berard. Delaney Watkins, the left fielder, bats second. Catcher, Nayeli De Jesus, bats third. In the cleanup spot, it's the shortstop, Gracie Vadios. Batting fifth, and the designated player, Nevea Gomez. Hen Urena plays right field and bats sixth. In the 7th spot, it's third baseman Kalani Gonzalez. Eliza Mendiola plays first base and bats 8th. And center fielder Valerie Villa rounds out the order for head coach Marissa Ross. She's in her 6th season. Back in 2022, she put together a special run. Dons went all the way to the state championship, and they lost in the Elite 8. A historic run. However, the Dons have failed to make the postseason the last 3 years. They're 1-5 to begin the conference season, hoping to put together their 2nd conference win this afternoon. Getting the start in the circle, it's Giselle Morales, and we'll get you the rest of the defense throughout the inning. For Giselle Morales, she's making her 9th start of the year. She's pitched 81 innings, Has a 6.14 ERA, best on the team. We'll see how she fares against the Santa Ana College lineup. Downstairs, first pitch in the dirt. Told you Berard's numbers while in the circle this season, but very talented player with the bat in her hands. She's leading the team in many different categories, including batting average at .469. She leads the team with 13 RBIs, 3 home runs, 2 triples, and 7 doubles. Puts one through the 5-6 hole. Leadoff single for the Dons in the home half of the first. Berard at first base. In steps Delaney Watkins. Watkins has put down 2 sacrifice bunts. We have seen the Dons use that strategy before. Watkins, a freshman from Brea, awaits the first pitch. Morales delivers, and Watkins hits a chopper foul to the backstop. No bunt sign put on the first pitch, at least. First meeting between these two teams last year. However, the Dons finished the season with a 3-game series sweep of Riverside City. 0-1 the count. Berard takes off for second after the ball is in the dirt. Heads up base running by the Santa Ana Dons, and the runner in scoring position. Count even at 1-1 to Watkins. Berard at second base. Meeting in the circle for Riverside City College. Good chance to get you the starting defense for the Tigers. Riley Wilson gets the start behind home plate. The infield, Abby Baldwin at third, Maddie Aguilera at second. At short, Carly Romero. And at third base, Alicia Kendrick. In the outfield from left to right, Jasmine Lemus, Ruby McDonald, Brooke Bishop. That's the defense for the Tigers. 1-1. Another pitch downstairs, handled nicely by Wilson. Count in favor of Watkins. 2 balls and 1 strike. Watkins puts a bunt down, right side of the infield. Morales' flip in time. Throw back to third base to check in on Berard. She's back safely, 1 out, but Watkins does a job and sacrifices the runner over. 60 feet away for the Dons in the home half of the first. In steps Nayeli De Jesus, the catcher. Takes a first pitch strike from Morales. De Jesus steps back in, teammates with Ihilani Berard, who's at third base in high school. Down and away. Count even at 1-1. It's actually a fun story. De Jesus was attending Santa Ana College during the summer, prepping for this season. Berard wasn't planning on playing softball at the collegiate level. 1-1 misses outside. But De Jesus, her teammate in high school, able to convince Ihi to come play for Santa Ana College this season. So 2 Santiago players are leading the way. De Jesus, another capable batter. Second on the team, hitting .364. Hits this one on the ground to the third baseman. Kendrick tries to apply the tag. Both players are safe. Berard just missed on the tag. It'll be a fielder's choice for De Jesus. 2 runners on for Santa Ana College, and there's a meeting at the circle. Head coach Dodona going to have a talk with the field umpire, Scott Kahn. And it was a close play from our angle. Berard was caught out of position, but she was able to wiggle her way around Kendrick and her tag. That allowed De Jesus to make it to first base in time. Now Kahn's going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire, Gary Kraus, to see if he had a better angle. As it stands, first and third And now after the conversation between the two umpires, Berard ruled out. Huge swing of momentum for Riverside City. So as it would stand, 2 outs, runner on first only. Berard is out at third base. Ross pleads her case to Kahn, but to no avail. Two outs for the shortstop, Gracie Barrios. The sophomore came through last week in the first game of the series versus OCC. Fouls off the first pitch. Morales ahead in the count, 0-1. The 0-1 from Morales. Off speed and outside. Count even. Barrios, one of 4 sophomores on the roster, returning for their season. Hitting .288 this year. A low strike called at the knees. Barrios has to do a double take. Down in the count, 1-2. She's tied for the team lead with 7 doubles this year. 1-2 pitch, high and away. Throw down at first. De Jesus back in time. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the batter, Gracie Barrios. Off the plate, ball 3. The count is full. Batter on deck is Nevaeh Gomez, the designated player. Wind in the city of Santa Ana blowing across the diamond from third base to first base. Payoff pitch, way upstairs. Barrios works the walk. Runners on first and second. Great discipline by Barrios. She's at first base. She has good speed. In steps Nevaeh Gomez, designated player. Another freshman on this roster who has contributed from La Quinta High School in the city of Westminster. Third on the team, batting .353. Does have 8 RBIs. First pitch downstairs. Trapped by Riley Wilson. Both runners stay put. See what the plan of attack is for RCC. Morales' pitch right on the outer paint. Great placement by Giselle Morales. Ninth start of the year for Morales. Back to work, the 1-1. Gomez punches it foul. Count in favor of the pitcher. She's a freshman from Valley View High School in the city of Moreno Valley. Young squad, 6 sophomores and 6 freshmen on the roster. Only 9 available players for RCC. Morales swisses high and wide. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gomez. De Jesus at second base, Barrios at first. Bottom of the first inning. 2 outs. Another foul ball. Count remains at 2-2. Two outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on. Bottom of the first. Morales' pitch. Gomez slaps it down the right field line. Fair by a matter of inches. Would have been a huge turn of events for the Dons had it fallen fair. Instead, the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's the first of 3 games. The series will continue to begin the month of April. Another 2-2 pitch. It gets away from Wilson to her right. Both runners advance 60 feet on the wild pitch. Second wild pitch of the inning. Full count to Nevaeh Gomez. She steps back in. Giselle Morales back to work in the circle. The payoff pitch, low and inside. Back-to-back walks. Great discipline from Gomez and Barrios at the plate. In steps Hen Urena. Urena is a sophomore from Santa Ana High School. Didn't play a whole lot of games last season, but has stepped up for the Dons down the stretch. 12th start of the year, hitting .220. Off speed, Morales hits the paint. Pitcher ahead in the count, 0-1. Urena grounds it right back to the pitcher. Morales stabs it, throws over to first in time. Nice reflexes by the pitcher in the circle. The Dons strand the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless as we head to the top of the second. Thanks for tuning in to Don Softball here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Back with the action after this.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, top of the second, due up for Riverside City is the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Ihilani Berard back in the circle. It's a warm day in the city of Santa Ana. Temperatures at 95 degrees. Dons in their red uniforms, red pants. Riverside City in their gray tops, black bottoms. First of 3 games this season between the two, and Berard's first pitch of the at-bat in for strike 1. Pitcher against pitcher here. Morales steps in. On the season, she's a .353 hitter, just like Berard, a very capable hitter. Off speed, upstairs. For Morales, it's her 22nd start on the year for Riverside City. 24 hits, second most on the team. Berard misses north of the strike zone. Berard back to work. Fouled into the net, right on it. 2 balls and 2 strikes, count even to Giselle Morales, the native to Moreno Valley. Berard's 2-2 pitch. Morales flails it into the air, foul territory. Urena can't get to it. We'll do it again. Long way to go for Urena. She was shaded towards the right center gap. We'll see if she adjusts. A few good hitters in the Riverside City lineup. 5 to be exact, hitting above 300. One of them unavailable today. We'll do it again, 2-2. Berard's pitch on the ground for Barrios. Third opportunity today, and she fires to first in time. That's what you see a lot of from Berard. She does get some strikeouts while she's in the circle, but she draws a lot of weak contact, a lot of ground balls. Can use her pitches effectively, mixing up speeds, throwing the off speed early in the count. 4 strikes, keeping hitters off balance. As she does there, another off speed, over on the ground to Varios. Fires to first in time. Back-to-back plays by the shortstop and quickly 2 outs. In steps the left fielder, Jasmine Lemus, after Riley Wilson is retired. First pitch at the top of the zone. 0-1 the count. Nobody on base, 2 outs. The 0-1, a check swing. Peeled down to first. Scott Kahn says yes, she did. Count in favor of the pitcher, Berard. Hoping for a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the second. The 0-2, Lemus goes down swinging. Big strikeout there for Berard, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the second inning. Due up for the Dons after the commercial break, the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Bottom third of the order after this.
Starting your college journey is a big step. It requires discipline and dedication while you balance your work, life, and education. At Santa Ana College, you can choose a pathway that fits into your schedule and leads you toward your personal and educational goals. Earn an associate degree, university transfer, career training, or even a bachelor's degree in occupational studies. With classes available both in person and online. Gain the professionalism and confidence you need to further yourself and your career, and become a bigger part of your community. Wraparound services are available to fit your needs and provide all the necessary tools to achieve academic, personal, and career success. Start your journey at Santa Ana College.
Bottom of the second inning, Kalani Gonzalez leads things off for the Santa Ana Dons. We're scoreless. Both teams 1-5 to begin conference play. It's the first of 3 games. The team will continue their series at the beginning of April 2nd and 3rd. First pitch from Giselle Morales downstairs. Gonzalez up in the count. Gonzalez, another sophomore on the roster. Played significant innings last season, mainly as a pitcher. Grounds it right back up the middle. Deflected off of Morales' glove to the shortstop. A 1-6-3 play for 1 out. Nice job by the shortstop, Carly Romero, to stay with it. Not an easy thing to do after it tipped the glove of Morales in the circle. 1 out. That'll bring up the first baseman, Eliza Mendiola. She hits from the left side. First pitch to the lefty, in there for strike 1. Mendiola steps back in. Offers and fouls it off to the right side. Down on the count 0-2. First baseman from Valencia High School, hitting .113 on the season. Has been strong defensively. That's why she's in the lineup. 19 starts. On the outer paint, Mendiola goes down looking for a strikeout. A backwards K for Giselle Morales. Didn't toy around with her either. Just put it right on the black. 3 pitches, 1 out. 2 outs in the inning. That'll bring up center fielder Valerie Villa. Villa takes strike 1. Villa gets the start in center. She's played a lot of shortstop this season, listed as a utility player. Puts a bunt down on the first base side. Pitcher Morales scoops it up and flips it to first in time. So RCC and Morales responds with a 1-2-3 inning of their own in the bottom of the second. Scoreless through 2. Thanks for tuning in to Don Softball here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. In the top of the third inning, Riverside City will send up their 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Ruby McDonald to lead things off, the center fielder, followed by Brooke Bishop and Carly Romero. Those are the 3 batters to face Ihilani Berard. She's on a roll. Only used 7 pitches in the first inning, 11 in the second, and drops curveball in for strike 1. 0-1 count to McDonald. Squares around, puts it down right in front of the home plate. Berard calls off for a catcher, and McDonald's at first base. Bunt single for McDonald. McDonald's at first base. Nobody out. Top of the third inning. In steps Brooke Bishop, the right fielder. Hits from the left side of the plate. First pitch. Pulls back her bunt attempt at the last second, and it's ball 1. Bishop on the season hitting .179 in 17 starts for the Tigers on the year. Pulls back another bunt attempt. Berard leaves it outside, 2-0. As a team, Riverside City has 14 stolen bases. They are aggressive on the base paths. McDonald does have 2. 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts this year. She's at first. Berard's next pitch on the edge. Bishop takes strike 1. Bishop steps back in. Berard delivers on home. Bunt pushed down to the third base side. Gonzalez grabs it, but it's foul. Count even at 2-2. Bishop makes her way back to home plate. McDonald retreats to first. Nobody out. Wind blowing across the diamond from third to first. Another 2-2 pitch. Berard delivers down and away, and it gets away from De Jesus. McDonald upstanding at second. A wild pitch. Runner in scoring position. Full count to Brooke Bishop. How do the Dons respond after the mishap? Berard gets the signs. Here's the payoff pitch. Slapped foul by Bishop. Do it again, full count. Bishop has 7 walks on the season, 12 strikeouts. Good speed out of the batter's box as well for the lefty. Upstairs, Bishop works herself on via the walk. Nobody out. First and second for Riverside City, back to the top of the order. Ihilani Berard has been in this position before. We'll see how she bounces back, how the defense responds as well for Santa Ana College. Romero steps back in, grounded out to the shortstop in her first at-bat. Watches, first pitch off speed, outer part of the plate. McDonald at second, Bishop at first. Both players with decent speed. Chopper right back to Berard. She goes the short way to third base, and they record the out on the lead runner. McDonald retired. Fielder's choice for Carly Romero. Runners at first and second, one out this time. In steps the first baseman, Abby Baldwin. Baldwin hitting .226 on the season. Also grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. Baldwin puts it on the ground for Gonzalez. Scoops it, tags the bag, and she can only get that one out at third base after the quick fumble. Nice job by her to stay with it. There's 2 outs.
Second baseman, Maddie Aguilera.
Back-to-back fielders' choices by the Dons infield. In steps Maddie Aguilera. Very talented player, hitting .479, 23 hits on the season. Third on the team in that category. First pitch strike from Berard. Aguilera has 12 RBIs on the season. Romero at second, Baldwin at first. Slaps it into right field and deep. Urena going back near the track and can't record the catch. It hits off the fence, 2 runs in to score for Riverside City, and they take a 2-0 lead in the top of the third.
Third baseman, Alicia Kendrick.
These 3-4 hitters for Riverside City, very dangerous. Berard will have to be careful with Alicia Kendrick as well. 2 outs, runner on second. On the ground for the second baseman, Higareda. Fields it cleanly, tosses it to first in time. But 2 runs come in for Riverside City. They have their first lead of the afternoon. Again, it's the first of 3 games the teams will play this season. We turn it over to the bottom of the third inning. Due up, the top of the order for Santa Ana College as they chase 2.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, top third of the order due up for Santa Ana College. Ihilani Berard, Delaney Watkins, and Nayeli De Jesus, the 3 batters due up. Giselle Morales still in the circle. She has been efficient.
Pitcher, number 12.
Only 31 pitches thrown through 2 innings. Picked up a 1-2-3 inning at the bottom of the second. Also picked up her first strikeout. Morales entered the match with a 6.14 ERA on the season. Best on the RCC pitching staff. Both teams are 1-5 to begin conference play. Berard slaps it into the right center gap. Extra bases. She's upstanding at second base. And a leadoff double for Santa Ana College to begin the home half of the third inning. The bottom of the first inning, the Dons stranded the bases loaded. Can they capitalize on a runner in scoring position this time? Berard has good speed at second. Watkins put down a sacrifice in her last plate appearance. The freshman from Brea takes ball one downstairs. Both Kendrick at third base, along with Abby Baldwin at first, ready to crash. The 1-0 misses high and wide. Count even. Check that. Watkins ahead in the count 2-0. The bunt in the first inning was their third sacrifice bunt on the season. The 2-0, Morales places one on the edge for the first strike of the at-bat. Watkins hits from the left side. 2-1 pitch, puts it on the ground to the shortstop. A chance for Romero, no play at first base as Watkins was blazing down the first base line. Infield single for Delaney Watkins. No chance for Romero going to her left, up the middle. A chance for the Dons to respawn after a two-spot put up by Riverside City in the top half of the inning. And steps the catcher, Nayeli De Jesus. Squares around to bunt. Throw over to second base. Watkins gets herself in a pickle. Berard draws attention over at third base. Kendrick applies a tag, not in time, and Watkins is at second. Successful play put down by the Santa Ana Dons. Watkins uses the speed, and Riverside City alertly throws over to third to check in on Berard. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Nayeli De Jesus. Pitch in the dirt, Wilson blocks it. He's worked hard behind the plate. Infield creeps in, trying to prevent that run from scoring on a hard hit ground ball. Two balls, no strikes to the catcher, De Jesus. Up in the count. Reached on a fielder's choice in her last at-bat. South of the strike zone. 3 straight misses by Giselle Morales. The 3-0. Way upstairs, off the plate as well. 4-pitch walk issue to De Jesus. And the bases are juiced. In steps the shortstop, Gracie Varios. Was the hero last Tuesday in their game against Orange Coast College. Dons pulled off the upset. Now time is called. The pitching coach is going to have a conversation with the entire infield. While we have this break in the action, we'll go ahead and get you the standings of the Orange Empire Conference. It's Saddleback College in the lead at 5-1. A pair of teams at 4-2. As the page continues to refresh. Can't see the rest of my screen at the moment. It's the only game going on in the Orange Empire Conference today. This was scheduled to be a week off from conference play. However, this game originally was scheduled on Cesar Chavez Day, and to avoid that confliction, we moved the game today, this week. The rest of the series will be on April 2nd and April 3rd. Some games in the conference tomorrow. Santa Ana hosts College of the Canyons for a doubleheader. Cypress hosts Bakersfield College for a doubleheader, and Orange Coast travels to El Camino. Fullerton and Golden West and Orange Coast all tied at 4-2 in second place in the conference. Santiago Canyon 2-4, Cypress 3-3, while Riverside and Santa Ana are both 1-5, both trying to leapfrog the other in this afternoon's contest. So after the visit at the circle, Badio steps back into the batter's box. Drew a walk on her last at-bat. Bases loaded. First pitch, high and tight, but it's ruled strike one, says home plate umpire Gary Kraus. Barrios was an impact player last season. Started 33 games for the Dons as a freshman. 4 RBIs on the season. Outside. Count even. Barrios has been playing more shortstop lately, the past week. was actually last Tuesday, the first start at the shortstop position, usually at second base. Flails one out into foul territory, and Baldwin can't get to it. A break for the Santa Ana Dons. Had Baldwin come down with that, it would have been the first out of the inning. All runners would have had to advance or to stay put. Morales delivers the 1-2 on the edge. A wide zone, and Barrios goes down looking.
Number 26, Nevaeh Gomez.
Tough break for the Dons. 1 out of the inning. A double play could get them out of the jam. They stranded the bases loaded. Bottom of the first inning, hoping for a different result. In steps Nevaeh Gomez. Gomez chases the off speed down and away. Nice pitch by Morales to get ahead in the count. Now head coach Marissa Ross calls time. She'll have a conversation with Gomez, along with the entire base running crew. Again, we told you the standings in the last break in the action. Again, Saddleback was the first team that the Dons played, and they swept the Dons. So they're alone in first place at 5-1. Fullerton, Golden West, and Orange Coast all 4-2. Cypress, who's usually always winning the conference or near the top, they're 3-3 to begin the season. Santiago Canyon 2-4 after picking up 2 wins last week against Riverside City. And both RCC and Santa Ana College are at the bottom, tied at 1-5. So after the timeout, taken by head coach Ross, Gomez steps back in. Berard at third, Watkins at second, De Jesus at first. Morales' pitch off the plate. Gomez steps back in with the 1-1 count. Morales delivers. Gomez out in front on another off speed. Nice call by Morales, the pitcher. One ball, 2 strikes to the designated player. Gomez sends it up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher, and it sneaks into center field. Berard scores. Watkins gets the breaks at third base. The Dons have their first run of the afternoon. Base is still full after the RBI single by Gomez. Defensive swing with 2 strikes, but it doesn't matter. Gomez able to push it through the middle. In steps Urena. She grounded out to the pitcher in her last at-bat. Chance for the sophomore to keep the inning going. On the ground for the shortstop, Romero. Over to second base for 1. All they get is 1, and the tying run comes in to score. Brand new ball game in the bottom of the third as Watkins touches home plate. De Jesus ends up at third base while Urena is at first. 2 outs, and steps Kalani Gonzalez. Gonzalez also came up big for the Dons last Tuesday in their win over OCC. On the ground to the shortstop, Romero. Clean throw, and that'll end the inning. So 2 runs do come in for Santa Ana College in the home half of the third. We're tied 2-2 as we head to the top of the fourth. Leading things off for Riverside City is the pitcher, Giselle Morales, after this quick break.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. It's the first of 3 meetings between Santa Ana College and Riverside City College on the season. The 2 teams will resume their series on the week of April 2nd and 3rd. But these are 3 important games to determine who will finish in the bottom of the conference. If the Dons can at least take 2 of 3 from Riverside City, it would almost guarantee their chances of not finishing at the bottom of the OEC. Still plenty of time in the conference season. We're tied up at 2 in the top of the 4th. 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Riverside City. Berard's first pitch to the pitcher, Giselle Morales. Below the knees for ball 1. 2 runs came across in the 3rd inning for both teams. It was a 2 RBI double by Maddie Aguilera. That put the Tigers on top. Berard misses first 2 pitches of the at-bat. The 2-0 pitch from the freshman. On the ground, past Gonzalez, but it's foul. Down the 3rd baseline. It's a warm day in the city of Santa Ana College, or in the city of Santa Ana. Temperature at 94 degrees. Nice breeze blowing across the diamond from left to right, 3rd base to 1st base. The 2-1 sent into the air. Urena to her right, in the gap, makes the catch. First out of the inning. In steps the catcher, Riley Wilson. Grounded out to the shortstop on the first pitch. Wilson's a freshman from Ramona High School in the city of Riverside. Batting .269 on the season. Takes a first pitch strike from Berard. Both runs that came across in the 3rd were earned runs against Ihilani Berard's line. She's up in the count 0-1 on Riley Wilson. Delivers another. Back-to-back strikes. Wilson steps back in. The 0-2 from Berard. Wilson swings through it. Foul tips it into the glove. 3 pitches and another strikeout for Berard. Her 2nd on the afternoon. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. That'll bring up left fielder Jasmine Lemus. Berard hopes for another 1-2-3 inning. Just above the letters, says home plate umpire Gary Kraus. Look good from our angle here. Lemus struck out. First strikeout for Berard on the afternoon, back in the 2nd inning. Takes an empty hack. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Lemus steps back in. Still looking for her first hit on the season. North of the zone. She's up in the count 2-1. And only 12 players on the roster of Riverside City, but they brought 9 today. Lemus primarily used as a flex. Doesn't get a whole lot of at-bats, has 2 on the season. Lemus fouls it back to the backstop. Count even at 2-2. As Berard hopes for her 2nd 1-2-3 inning of the ballgame. Upstairs for ball 3. Count runs full. Center fielder Ruby McDonald. Batter on deck for RCC. Tigers led by 26-year head coach Michelle Dodona. Payoff pitch from Berard. Swing and a miss. Lemus set down for the strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning for for Ihilani Berard. On to the bottom of the fourth, and it's the 8-9 one-hitters due up for Santa Ana College after this.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, Eliza Mendiola leads things off for the Dons as we're tied up at 2 in the bottom of the fourth. Dons hosting Riverside City. Both teams are 1-5. The winner would leapfrog the other in the standings. Dons are led by sixth-year head coach Marissa Ross. She's at third base. Alyssa Iglesias, lead assistant at first. Both played for Santa Ana College during the 2013 and 14 seasons. Always cool to see the alumni come back and coach, give back to the program. The two led the team to a state title run in 2022, however, came up short as the first pitch swinging miss from Mendiola. Down in the count is the first baseman. She struck out looking on 3 pitches in her first at-bat. Giselle Morales has been efficient thus far. She's matched Ihilani Berard this afternoon. Both have allowed 2 runs. Count even, 1-1 to the first baseman. Morales gets the sign from her catcher, and Mendiola fouls it off to the left side. Morales entered today's contest with a 6.14 ERA. 19 appearances total on the season. It's her 9th start of the year. She has the first baseman down in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Just outside, Riley Wilson tries to frame it to no avail. Mendiola steps back in with a 2-balls and 2-strike count. Below the knees, and she holds up on her swing. Nice discipline by the freshman. She's had a rough go of things this season, leads the team in strikeouts this year with 16 after her last. Payoff pitch from Morales, just outside. Mendiola works the walk. Great patience and discipline. That's what this year is about for a lot of the freshmen. It's a young roster for Santa Ana College. You're giving a lot of young players real reps. And Mendiola able to learn from her past mistake. 4th walk on the season. She is at first base, and in steps the center fielder, Valerie Villa. Squares around a bunt, pops it up in the air, foul off the net. Villa grounded out to the pitcher in her last at-bat. Sophomore from Los Amigos High School in the city of Fountain Valley. Villa pushes it foul, right side. She's down in an 0-2 hole. Mendiola not the fastest of runners at first base. Top of the order on deck. Berard awaits. The 0-2, Villa goes down swinging. A great pitch by Giselle Morales. Off speed, high and outside the zone. Too tempting for Villa to chase off, to lay off. Back to the top of the order for the Dons. First pitch to Ihilani Berard. She takes downstairs. She smoked a double into the right center gap on the first pitch of the at-bat, in her last at-bat. Down and in. 2 straight misses. Favorable hitters count. Mendiola at first base. On the outer corner. It's been consistently a strike this afternoon. Favorable hitters count to Berard, who's 2 for 2 on the afternoon. In the dirt, Wilson able to get a glove on it and keeps it close. Mendiola stays at first base. Berard not only leads the Dons roster with the .469 batting average, but she leads the entire conference. 469 batting average is the best in the entire OEC. She's up in the count 3-1 and takes strike 2. Full count. Delaney Watkins awaits on deck, 1 out in the inning. Can Ihilani find a way to break the tie? Payoff pitch in the air to Carly Romero at short. Throwback to first is in time. A hard hit ball right back to the shortstop. Romero able to lay out and make the grab for the second out. Threw it back to first for the third. And Giselle Morales able to work out of a jam, faces the minimum. On our way to the top of the 5th. We're tied up at 2 through 4 innings. Top of the 5th inning, 8-9 one-hitters due up for Riverside City College. Thanks for tuning in to Don Softball here on this Tuesday afternoon. An Orange Empire Conference match, the only of the day. The Dons return to action tomorrow with the doubleheader against College of the Canyons. First pitch to Ruby McDonald from Berard. Inner part of the zone, strike 1. We'll reset the defenses for you as well in the 5th inning in the outfield from left to right. Delaney Watkins, Valerie Villa, and Hen Urena. Infield after this pitch, the 0-1 from Berard. North of the zone, Kalani Gonzalez at third, Gracie Barrios at short, Moon Higareda at second, Eliza Mendiola at first base, and behind home plate, Nayeli De Jesus. In the air, weakly hit, middle of the infield, going to be trouble. Barrios charges, throw to first, not in time. A great job by Barrios to play it off the one hop. But there's a runner on board, an infield single for Ruby McDonald. 4th hit of the ball game for Riverside City, both teams with 4. Neither team has committed an error. In steps Brooke Bishop, drew a walk in her last at-bat. Push bunt right in front of home plate. De Jesus flings it to first in time. Tricky play as De Jesus had to work around the bat. The bat was dropped in front, not intentionally, but right in front of home plate. De Jesus had to make sure her feet didn't clip it. To sacrifice bunt. Back to the top of the order. Kylie Romero steps in. Ruby McDonald at second. Berard's first pitch in there for strike one. Romero's 0 for 2 on the day, 2 groundouts. She drills this one into left field. It drops in front of Watkins. Watkins gets it all the way home. There's a runner caught in no man's land. And Romero heads back to first base. Try to start a pickle, but the Dons don't oblige. Runners at first and third after the 1-out single by Carly Romero.
First base.
In steps Abby Baldwin, the first baseman. Chance to cash in and break the tie. McDonald at third, Romero at first. Berard's first pitch, top of the zone. Great placement by the young freshman. Baldwin hitting .226 on the season, only 8 RBIs. Skies it into the air. It doesn't leave the infield. Mendiola at first base, hangs on, and a big second out. Neither runner can advance. 2 outs in the inning.
Number 20, Maddie.
That'll bring up Maddie Aguilera. She hit the 2 RBI double in the third inning that gave RCC their first lead of the afternoon. Wouldn't be surprised if the Dons worked carefully around her, but there's a more dangerous hitter and Alicia Kendrick on deck. What does Berard throw here? On the ground for Higuereta. Fielded cleanly over to second. Barrios keeps her foot on the bag. A scary play, but the Dons able to get the third and final out of the inning. Riverside City strands runners at first and third. We head to the bottom of the fifth. We're tied up at 2. Leading things off for Santa Ana College after the break, Delaney Watkins.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. The 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for Santa Ana in the home half of the 5th inning. A warm afternoon in the city, 94 degrees, down a couple degrees from earlier at first pitch. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Both teams are tied at 1-5 in the conference. The winner would leapfrog the other in the OEC standings. It's the first of 3 games this season between the two. The Dons swept the Tigers last year to end the conference season. It was the only 3 wins of the year for Santa Ana College. In steps Delaney Watkins. Left fielder singled in her last at-bat. Puts one over Morales in the circle. Throw not in time for Maddie Aguilera. Infield single for the left fielder. Another leadoff base runner for the Santa Ana Dons. And steps the catcher, Nayeli De Jesus. Doesn't have a hit today, but she's reached base twice. A walk in her last at-bat. Fielder's choice in her first. First pitch in the dirt. Wilson traps it. She's worked hard behind the plate. This is the time of the game, too, that you start to worry about catchers and if they get sloppy behind the dish on a warm day like today. Off the plate for ball 2. but both De Jesus for Santa Ana College and Wilson for Riverside City. Been pretty close to perfect at blocking balls in the dirt. The 2-0 finds the zone. Throw gets away from the first baseman, Baldwin, but Watkins stays at first. The catcher, De Jesus, steps in the box. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to her. On the outer edge. Count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watkins at first base, one of the faster runners on the Dons roster. North of the zone, throw back to first. No tag as Baldwin able to reach across her body. Full count. Gracie Barrios, the batter, on deck. On the ground for the second baseman, Aguilera. Over to second for 1, back to first, not in time. So the Dons avoid the double play. There is 1 out in the inning. Nice churn by Aguilera to her left. She had to flip her hips and make that accurate throw to second. In steps Gracie Barrios, the shortstop. She reached on a walk in her first at-bat, struck out looking on an unfavorable call in her last. First pitch. Trapped again by Wilson. Less speed on the base pass as Watkins is out. De Jesus takes her spot at first. Barrios does have good speed. Out of the batter's box. Puts it on the ground for the third baseman. Kendrick, tricky hop. Kendrick can't hang on. An infield single for Barrios on a hard hit ground ball to Kendrick down the line. Not a routine play by any means. De Jesus at second, Barrios at first. In steps Nevaeh Gomez. She picked up an RBI single in her last at-bat. Just off the plate, Morales wanted that one. She falls behind in the count. Gomez has also reached twice, a single in her last at-bat, a walk in her first. Gomez right back to Morales. She goes to third for 1. Kendrick just hangs on to it. A fielder's choice for the second out of the inning.
Number 20, Hen Urena.
2 outs, and it comes down to the sophomore Hen Urena. To keep the inning alive, Barrios at second base, good speed. Gomez at first. Urena pokes it into right field. Bishop Chargers can't get to it. She dove and it gets away. Extra bases. They wave in Gomez. No throw at home plate. A 2 RBI double by Hen Urena. The Dons are back on top, 4-2, their first lead of the afternoon. Huge swing of momentum for the Santa Ana Dons. 2 outs. Urena's at second base. In steps Kalani Gonzalez. Can they tack on more runs in the home half of the 5th? Skies it high into the air. McDonald back a few steps, but camps underneath for the third and final out. So it's Hen Urena who plays the hero after she's able to get a double into right field and score 2 more runs. The Dons are on top 4-2 through 5 innings. Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, top of the 6th inning, due up for Riverside City. They're 4, 5, and 6 hitters as they trail by 2. My name is Noah. Live stream will be tomorrow. They'll host a doubleheader against College of the Canyons. First pitch of the first game to take place at 2 p.m. Got a doubleheader, 2 and 4 p.m. If you can't make it to the ballpark, you can always tune in to the live stream. They hit the road on Friday at Compton College and then begin a 3-game series at Fullerton next Tuesday. That's the upcoming schedule for the Dons. In steps Alicia Kendrick. First pitch from Berard. The 57th pitch of the outing in for strike 1. A very efficient outing thus far. Hasn't reached the 60 pitch mark. Berard has 3 strikeouts. Has only allowed 5 hits. On the ground, weakly hit for Barrios. Flings it to first in time. And Riverside City down to their final 5 outs.
Pitcher Giselle Morales.
In steps the pitcher Giselle Morales. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. 2 runs in the 3rd inning for Riverside City. Santa Ana responded with 2 of their own and then picked up 2 in the 5th. They lead 4-2. First pitch strike, right down the middle. The 14th start of the year for Berard. Big conference match between the 2 teams. Off speed and on the outer edge. Great placement. Keeps hitters off balance when she goes to the off speed like that early in the count. She has Morales in an 0-2 hole. Morales fouls off and stays alive. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Morales steps back in. A fly out to right field in her last at-bat. It's another one to the opposite field, and it falls in front of Urena. 1-out single for Riverside City, their 6th of the ball game. Let's see if they have some late game magic in them. Trailing by 2. In steps Riley Wilson. 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out on 3 pitches in her last at-bat. Weekly hit to Mendiola at first base. Only plays for her to tag the bag. 3 in assisted for the 2nd out. Advancing to second is Morales. And in steps Jasmine Lemus. Lemus has struggled today. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. North of the strike zone for ball 1. We told you earlier that Lemus primarily used as a flex. Doesn't get a whole lot of batting opportunities. 3 at-bats on the season, 2 strikeouts. She steps back in. Hits one foul off the net, right side. Moves the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Dons lead by 2. In the home half of the inning, they'll send up their 8-9 hitters to get some insurance runs before the top of the 7th. Still plenty of time before then. The 1-1 from Berard. Lemus fouls it off to the right side. Another 2-strike count on Lemus, hoping to avoid the hat trick. Berard back on the rubber. Her 1-2 pitch. Lemus puts it on the ground for Higareda. Over to first in time. The 3rd out of the top of the 6th inning. So the last chance for the Dons to tack on more insurance runs. 8-9-1 due up as Eliza Mendiola will get things started after this commercial break.
Starting your college journey is a big step. It requires discipline and dedication while you balance your work, life, and education. At Santa Ana College, you can choose a pathway that fits into your schedule and leads you toward your personal and educational goals. Earn an associate degree, university transfer, career training, or even a bachelor's degree in occupational studies. With classes available both in person and online. Gain the professionalism and confidence you need to further yourself and your career. And become a bigger part of your community. Wraparound services are available to fit your needs and provide all the necessary tools to achieve academic, personal, and career success. Start your journey at Santa Ana College, where it leads.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Eliza Mendiola leads things off in the home half of the 6th inning. Final 3 outs for the Dons to tack on to their 2-run lead as they hope to pick up their 2nd conference victory of the season. First pitch from Giselle Morales. Mendiola puts it on the ground for Carly Romero. Strong throw to first in time. 1 pitch out in the bottom of the 6th. Dons picked up 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 runs in the 5th. They have 4 runs off 7 hits, no errors. While Riverside City has 2 runs off 6 hits, no errors. Both teams picked up 2 runs in the 3rd. In steps Valerie Villa, the shortstop. Check that, center fielder. She's had played a lot of shortstop this season. First pitch is downstairs. Villa hitting 184 on the season. Utility player. Appeared in 27 games last year as a freshman. Mainly in the outfield. So I'm sure she feels a lot more comfortable in center field this afternoon. Hasn't had a lot of work out there. Wind shifts directions, blowing out towards right field. 2-0 count to the center fielder. Pulls back the bunt attempt. It's below the knees. 3 straight misses by Morales. Top of the order on deck. Villa does run well on the base paths. Four straight misses by Morales. Runner at first base. Back to the top of the order. In Berard's last at-bat, she was finally retired for the first time this afternoon. 1 of 3. Check that, 2 of 3 at the plate today. Double, a single, and a line out to short in her last at-bat. First pitch, Riley Wilson traps it. Nice work by the catcher. Villa at first. Wind continues to pick up at our backs, blowing out towards right field. At the top of the zone. Evens the count to Berard, 1-1. On the ground through the 5-6 hole. No, Romero able to get to it. Lays out on a dive, but she comes up very slowly. An infield single for Ihilani Berard. Great effort by Romero to even get to that one. We assumed it was getting through. Romero stays in the game. Villa at second, Berard at first, and steps Delaney Watkins. Kendrick up at third base, ready for a bunt. Watkins takes strike 1. She dropped a sacrifice bunt in the first inning, her 3rd of the season. Does have 2 singles on the afternoon, 2 of 2. On the outer edge. Back-to-back strikes by Morales. 90th pitch of the outing coming up next. Upstairs. Still a 2-strike count to Delaney Watkins, freshman from Brea High School. fouls it off into the net. Watkins can't connect on the off speed. It's the second out of the inning. Big strikeout by Morales. Both runners stay put at first and second. In steps Naeli De Jesus. Has reached all 3 times. 2 fielders' choices and a walk. Still looking for her first hit. Pulls one down the line. Kendrick lays out, and on a knee she taps third base for the third and final out. Acrobatic play by Kendrick at the hot corner.
Santa Ana 4, Riverside 2.
Santa Ana leads by 2 heading into the top of the 7th. Last 3 outs for Riverside City here on the afternoon. Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, top of the 7th, and Riverside City College will send up their 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Ruby McDonald to lead things off. Ihilani Berard goes for the complete game. McDonald's 2 for 2 on the afternoon. 2 singles. Has yet to come around and score. Berard's first pitch to the center fielder. In for strike 1. Back-to-back strikes by Berard as she takes her time. Riverside City down to their final 3 outs. It's the first conference game between the 2 teams this season. Berard's 0-2 pitch. McDonald fouls it off and stays alive. Next week, Santa Ana will take on Fullerton College for a 3-game series. They'll host the Thursday game versus Fullerton. First pitch scheduled at 3. Again, the 2 other games of this series between Riverside City will be on April 2nd and April 3rd. Another 0-2 pitch. De Jesus sets up outside, and well, Berard hits her target. Ball 1. One-two count to the center fielder, McDonald. The pitch right at the top of the zone. McDonald goes down looking for the first out of the top of the 7th. Great location by the pitcher, Berard. 4th strikeout of the outing. Has only allowed 6 hits on the afternoon. Those 2 runs came both in the top of the 3rd inning. She's been money since. Bishop takes outside for ball 1. Bishop put down a sacrifice bunt in her last at-bat. Slaps one foul to the third base side. Count even at 1-1 to the right fielder. Bishop drew a walk in the third inning. It's the only walk issued by Ihelani Berard on the outing. Chopper, left side of the infield. Going to be a tough play for Gonzalez. Throw not in time. An infield single for Bishop. Fantastic speed down the line. Riverside City has their base runner. They're chasing two. Kylie Romero, batter at home plate, represents the tying run. Romero picked up a single on her last at-bat. 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Offers at the first pitch and pops it up. Left side, Barrios hauls it in for the second out. So now Riverside City down to their final out of the ballgame. In steps Abby Baldwin, and it's going to be an important player to get here. Back-to-back dangerous hitters in the lineup following Maddie Aguilera and Alicia Kendrick. The two have combined for 3 hits on the afternoon, along with the 2 RBIs. In steps Abby Baldwin, the first pitch at the top of the zone. Berard likes going for that spot. Up in the count 0-1. Second pitch of the at-bat, into the air, right field. Urena charges and makes the grab for the third and final out. So Riverside City can't do anything with the 1-out single by Brooke Bishop, and the Santa Ana Dons come out victorious. 4-2 is the final score. Ihelani Berard gets the victory after the complete game, only allowing those 2 runs that came across in the top of the third inning. She finishes the afternoon with 4 strikeouts total, while Joselle Morales picks up the loss for Riverside City. The Tigers fall to 6-17 on the year, 1-6 in conference play, while the Dons advance to 4-15 on the season. They're 2-5 in the Orange Empire Conference year. For Salvador Leon, Cami Lewis, my name is Noah Alvarez, saying thanks for tuning in to Don Softball here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Just a friendly reminder, Dons host a doubleheader against College of the Canyons tomorrow afternoon. First pitch at 2 p.m. as they take on the Cougars. We'll catch you guys next time.